Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and this is the start of my Cheltenham Literature Festival 2015 vlog. I'm going to endeavour to vlog my week at the Cheltenham Literature Festival. Me and my husband and daughter are going to all go together. We normally go every year. This is our 4th or 5th year going, but normally we only go for a weekend. This year we have bitten the bullet and we've rented a house and we're staying for the whole week. So we're going to see lots and lots of different panels and events and authors talk, and I'm very excited. This year my daughter is old enough to go to quite a few of things for herself. We're going to see a Charlie and Lola one called Pooh in the Zoo, and we're also going to see a pirate one, I think. I'm going to try and vlog a little bit while I'm there so you can get a feeling of the atmosphere, and after every event do a little wrap up of what I thought of it. So I hope you enjoy this, and obviously I'm bound to buy books while I'm there as well because they have a big Waterstones tent which has always got new books and signed books. So I will also at the end of this video do a little haul. So I hope it's not going to be massively long, but we shall see how we get on. Hi everyone, so I tried to talk last night but it was just too dark on my way back from the event, but I went to see Kate Williams and Claire Clark talking about their World War I novels, and it was really good. When I get back home I will show you Kate Williams, which is Storms of War. I haven't read it yet but it looks really good, and myself and Matilda and my husband are now off to an event called Pooh in the Zoo, which is a book, I'll show it to you quickly, like this, which is a funny picture book for children, and we're going to an event for that, so I'm really excited to take her to that. She's really excited, and then I've got quite a few events today, so I'll try and catch up with you as and when and let you know how I'm getting on. Okay, I'm going to go now because I'm really self-conscious about doing this. Okay, bye. So I've just come out of the talk, which was going to be David Almond and Patrick Ness, but unfortunately Patrick Ness couldn't make it, which was such a shame. But David Almond was brilliant. He talked to us about his new book, Song for Ella Gray, which is a play on the Orpheus myths, a modern retelling set in Northumberland. It sounds really interesting. He talked about how he likes to play with words. I think the book plays with its design as well. He talks about the part in the book where Orpheus goes into the underworld and the pages are turned black and the writing's white, which I thought sounded really interesting. It's really piqued my interest in picking up this book, so I think it might be one that I have to get at a later stage. He was just a really interesting writer, a really nice guy, which is always good. I really liked his thoughts on the Orpheus myth. I really liked how he talks about words being poetry and lyrical, and I think he's quite clever with his words. His books aren't massive but they pack a punch, and yeah, I'm really interested in maybe picking this up at some point. So if any of you have read it yet, it's The Song for Ella Gray by David Almond. Let me know because I'd be really interested in your thoughts. So the next one I'm going to is Secrets of the Deep, which I think is about mermaid books, but I will fill you in when I get out. So needless to say, book festivals aren't the place to find quiet time to tell you about what I've seen, and I'm a bit of a nervous vlogger. But I've just been in to see a panel that was called Secrets of the Deep, which was with Laura Dockrell, who wrote Lorelei, a young adult book, and with Jennifer Donnelly, who has been writing a quartet of books about mermaids. I think the first one's called Deep Blue, and she's just got her third one come out and she's working on the fourth, and she's working on that series with Disney, which I thought was quite interesting. They approached her and asked her, gave her an idea of the characters they wanted in it, and then she's been writing it that way. And then Laura Dockrell's moved on from some other type of book series that she's been doing before to write this sort of mermaid story, and the whole panel was just talking about mermaids and where the authors got their inspiration from and where they went with their books. And I have to say I'm totally taken with Laura Dockrell. She's my new woman crush, I think. She's just hilarious, she's really lovely, down to earth, very interesting talking and listening to her talk about her book, and it's made me, I picked it up last night actually, just on a whim, and I can't wait to read it. And after hearing Jennifer Donnelly talk, I've picked up the first 3 books in her series as well, because I just can't wait to give them a go and dive into these mermaid stories. So yeah, if you ever get the chance to hear either of them talk, I thoroughly recommend it. They're very engaging, very funny, and listening to them talk about how they wrote their books was very interesting. So I will show you the books at the end of this video and tell you a bit more about the series, but it was a really good panel, probably my favourite yet. So I can't wait to go to my next one, and I will catch up with you after that. Hi everyone, so I'm just sitting here to show you the books that I've bought so far, the ones that I've talked about. So the first one I picked up was Pooh in the Zoo, and this was written by Steve Smallman and illustrated by Ada Gray. We also went to the new Charlie and Lola launch, so this is the first book, a new book by Lauren Child in the Charlie and Lola series that has been bought out in the last 6 years, and it's called One Thing. Also yesterday I talked to you about going to the Secrets of the Deep panel, where I saw Laura Dockwell, who wrote Lorelei, which I have picked up a copy. This is a YA mermaid story. It sounds phenomenal. I love the way the front cover is done out like fish scales. It's a story about, from what she described, it's about mermaids. It's about a young boy called Rory, who she said is based on her younger brother. It's his 16th birthday. He's on the beach in Hastings and he finds a naked 16-year-old girl. And in Laura Dockwell's words, every young boy's dream for his 16th birthday, which is very true. And, well, not every, but yeah. So it's about where this girl's come from and her life and the mermaids, and I can't wait to get to this. It just sounds really, really good. And as I also mentioned, I saw Jennifer Donnelly talk about the series that she's writing in collaboration with Disney. The first one is called Deep Blue. It's the first in the Waterfire saga. She said that she was given from Disney they wanted 6 characters, 6 mermaids, and I think Disney had a bit of an idea of the names that they wanted for them, and they said it was going to be set underwater and around Atlantis, and they gave her sort of a background, and then she sort of ran with it, but obviously within the confines of a Disney type story. We were talking and laughing because obviously there's Disney Frisky and there's regular Frisky, so you have to be very careful in what you put in a book that is written for Disney. I believe it's probably because they're going to look at making this into a film, and probably their theme parks and things like that will eventually include things, and they wanted something mermaidy, and so this is the first one. And I looked it up on Goodreads before I picked it up, and it had really good reviews, and while I was there I just thought, well, why not? I picked up the second book, which is Rogue Wave, and the newest third book, which is called Dark Tide, which also has a free little bracelet, which I'm really excited to, when I get to this one, I will open it and enjoy the bracelet. And then she said she is just finishing the edits on the 4th book, so that will be out, I think, next year. So I'm really pleased I picked those up, and I can't wait. I think I'm going to have some sort of mermaid binge at some point. And then the final book I picked up is for a panel that I'm going to see either tomorrow or Tuesday, I think. I can't remember, but I wanted to read it before I went in. I originally saw this on Leanne at Literary Diversion's channel. She said how brilliant it was, and when I realised I was going to see a panel with the person that wrote this on it, I thought I have to pick it up first and read it, and that is Everything is Teeth by Evie Wilde and Joe Sumner. And this is a graphic memoir of Evie Wilde's time. She spent her childhood growing up in New South Wales, coastal New South Wales, and she really fell for sort of sharks. And this tells sort of her story through pictures and things about sharks. And I'm obsessed with sharks, I think, as is most people, when they are the ultimate predator. So yeah, I'm really interested in reading this before I go to the panel, so I've got a bit of background, and I'm so pleased that I picked this one up. It's going to be great on my shelf. Hi everyone, so it's been a few days since I've last talked to you, because it's been a few days since I went to my last event. I did go to an event with Matilda, which was about pirates, which was quite fun, but I think maybe she's still a little bit too young for the events here. I think as they get to sort of 4 and 5, maybe they enjoy them a bit more. But I'm just off to a talk about graphic novels, and Evie Wyld's Everything is Teeth is one of the things that's going to be talked about, so I'm really excited to check that out. I'll check in with you afterwards and let you know how I get on. Hi everyone, so I've just come out of the Get Graphic panel and it was really interesting. It was interesting to hear from Evie Wyld and Joe Sumlin about how they wrote their graphic novel. They wrote it over like 7 years, which is a really long time. They were friends from art school, so it's been quite a nice sort of pet project for them. What I didn't realise was that Evie Wyld has also written novels, so I'm going to have a little check out of those. And the other author that was talking has adapted one of Anthony Trollope's books into a graphic novel and sort of adapted and also added to, and that was interesting to hear about. Yeah, so it was an interesting discussion of their particular books, but not much about any sort of other graphic novels. Hi guys, so I've just got back from my very last talk event at Cheltenham Literature Festival, and it was the Bloomsbury Proof Party. So what that was, I was really excited when I read the concept of it. Basically, you bought your ticket and you went along, and Bloomsbury would be giving you 3 proof copies of books that wouldn't be out until next year in 2016, and the 3 authors of those books would be there to talk about them. And I thought that sounded brilliant, and I wasn't disappointed. It's probably the best thing that I've been to. So now I'm going to show you the 3 books that we were given, and just tell you a bit about the event, because it was phenomenal. So the first person to talk was a lady called Holly Muller, and so her book is set in Austria, and it is about I'll read you the synopsis. It's 1944 and war has taken the men in Austria to the front line. For 13-year-old Ursula Hindelsheim, life in the village of Feldorf remains almost as it was. Outcast at school, idly thieving, enlisted in endless chores by her mama and sister, and running wild with her adored older brother Anton. But then Russian prisoners escape from the local concentration camp. Her mama starts an affair with a married man. Her friend disappears, and her brother's allegiance to the Hitler Youth emerges in shocking ways. Ursula finds herself alone, disturbed by dark memories, and surrounded by threat. Meanwhile, the menace of the Red Army advancing from the east hangs over the village, and people of Feldorf fear that the end of the war will not mark the end of their suffering. And it says, my own dear brother shows us a world of conflict in microcosm, expertly captured our capacity for both cruelty and courage in breathtaking detail. Next to speak was second-time author Susan Joinson. I've not read her first book, which was a lady cyclist guide to Kashgar, but this is called The Photographer's Wife. I'll read you the back because I think it's interesting and may pique your interest. Jerusalem 1920, 11-year-old Prudence feels the tension rising as her architect father launches an ambitious plan to redesign the holy city. Prue, known as the Little Witness, eavesdrops under the tables of tea rooms, watching everything but rarely being watched herself. When Prue's father employs a British pilot to take aerial photographs of the city, she is uncomfortably aware of the attraction that sparks between him and Eleonora, the English wife of a famous Jerusalem photographer. Eleonora's husband is a nationalist, intent on removing the British, and so begins a dangerous game. Years later, in rain-soaked Sussex, Prue is an artist living in a reclusive life by the sea, when the British pilot pays her a surprise visit. What he reveals unravels her world, and she must follow the threads that lead her back to secrets long ago buried in Jerusalem. And then the final one, the final author, certainly should not be a surprise. Well, she's a known author, I think, to most of you. Her name is Meg Rossoff, and she wrote How I Live Now, which was made into a major motion picture. And that is a YA book. It was classified as YA, and this is being classified as sort of her first foray into adult literature, and it's called Jonathan Unleashed. So I'll read you again the synopsis of this one. It's written about a young man who's in his 20s. Jonathan Trefoil's boss is unhinged, his relationship baffling and his apartment just the wrong side of legal. His girlfriend wants to marry someone just like him, only richer and more organised with a different sense of humour. On the plus side, his two flatmates are determined to fix his life, or possibly to destroy it altogether. It's difficult to be certain, as they only speak dog. Poor Jonathan, he doesn't remember life being this confusing back in the good old days before everyone expected him to act like a person. But one thing he knows for sure, if he can make it in New York City, he can make it anywhere. Would he get out of advertising, meet the girl of his dreams and figure out the gender of his secret crush? Given how it's going so far, probably not. So anyway, that's the 3 books that we were given. I'm really excited about these. Meg's book's out on the 11th of February next year. So 2 out in February and 1 out in May. And I just can't wait to pick them up. So it was a brilliant event. I really enjoyed it. And I've loved Cheltenham Literature Festival. And I definitely recommend, if you can go to it and go to as many varied events as you can, because it's been a great experience. So I hope you've enjoyed this vlog and I look forward to speaking to you all soon. Bye for now, BookTube.